Hey detectives, welcome to the crew. I'm Cellar Agenda, and this is my Let's Play of Disco Elysium. In the last episode, we began exploring the back of the doomed commercial area, and we're now headed down to the basement. Now, where the hell are we? Is this the fridge? Shaped like a bear?
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment
Sure
in its
enough.
belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? This must be the fridge you were told about. Look inside. See if it's big enough for the corpse. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
What
The
the hell's
shelves are
inside?
empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Okay, why is our hand on our gun, Kim? Take the note.
You pocket the note and
Oh,
the little fridge
well, I wanted to
magnets
read it.
keeping it
Okay.
on the door.
Examine an ice cream wrapper.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
Why is there a giant bear-shaped fridge in an abandoned cellar?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
The lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light.
Somewhere in the past, it's summer. 5-year-old Fifette lets go of her mother's hand, change jingling in her pockets as she hops towards the ice cream stand right across the plaza.
So they sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore?
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The lieutenant points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Yeah, that's interesting, because the computer upstairs was still running too, and that must take electricity. How, I mean, who's paying this bill? Is the bookshop stuck for the bills for all this stuff? Because if so, maybe that's why they're bankrupt. Well, this is clearly the fridge.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice bear fridge.
Nice.
Shall we go and get the body then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Alright, let's
The
do
body
this.
is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement, then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge.
Crikey.
The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Is it upside down? Good grief, guys.
Beautiful. A dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
You have created an ice bear sarcophagus.
Behold, we have created an ice bear
Folk of
sarcophagus.
the ice bear sarcophagus must not leave this room.
Well, we did our best with the means at our disposal.
Did we though? Okay, maybe we did. At
Yeah.
least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Oh boy.
You touch the dead man's body. His skin is cold, light blue and silvery in the light of the fridge. You still have no idea where to begin, or what to even do with him.
It'll come to you sooner or later. At least he's safe here until then.
Either we just keep failing until we roll the 28%, or we find new evidence perhaps at some point. An ice cream maker, defrosted and unplugged. Rayon and some magnesium.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs, the echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
I think I can hear someone talking upstairs, Kim.
Wait, really? You should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
Don't do that. What is this, a furnace?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney.
He opens the door and gingerly peeks inside.
No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Why am I smearing my hands with coal?
A lush layer of coal now covers your skin,
Why?
sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient.
Maybe it's the malignant entity?
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
Always has to be the skeptic, this man.
No, I agree. Okay, let's try this stupid check.
You muster all your strength and yell. You're dehydrated.
Yes, that's right.
Hungover throat can produce little more than a dry croak. The chatter from the chimney continues on as before. You seem to have made no impression on whatever's up there. Then again, maybe it's worth actually trying something up there.
Maybe you should let your voice rest, officer. Try again later.
I'm not gonna kick it with my foot. Alright, let's move on. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now. The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway here. Ooh. Hold on, let me check this out over here first. Alright, a lot of stuff down here. A frozen ice cream maker that's still running. $0.70, some Nosafed.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Okay, I don't particularly plan to unplug either. Upstairs going up, okay. Intercom wires running into the breaker box. An insane mesh tank top that adds to drama. Alright, let's see what's in the secret room and then we'll go upstairs. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Where are we?
Seems like an old bunker
Yeah, that was
from
my
the
thought
Revolutionary
immediately.
period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Yeah, look, there's a hole in
There
the wall.
is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Yes, I do.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden
Weapons
away.
cache indeed.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
This one looks
That's
nice.
a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
A rifle
It
here,
means
huh?
there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Yeah, it's cool. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. They've all been lying here 50 years. It's probably not very surprising they don't mostly work right anymore. Okay, so I should not unplug the fridge. Ooh, we can level up. Although that also means we could get the ability to... Oh, we're already busy internalizing something still. Alright, let's use this point to level something up. Could get tougher. Oh, that's our volition cap, apparently. That's not great. We could try to get more authority, but... let's get more hand-eye coordination. Just in case we have to fight anything. Oh, and this leads out here.
An old call box. East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name of the doomed commercial area.
Okay, so if this leads out there, where am I going to find voices upstairs? I mean, here's upstairs, but... oh, what's that now? Is there a route I didn't... oh, there sure is. Okay. What do we have up here? Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Now that is much more recent. The floorboards creak.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives.
It's where some people live.
This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here.
Hello? Tried yelling,
Again,
it didn't work.
Your voice becomes a raspy croak mid-sentence. It's silent in the abandoned office building. No one answers you. Sire, may we suggest something? Think of the yelling into the furnace as a grand performance. Use your chest voice, not your head voice. Sing from the diaphragm. Perhaps it's not such a bad idea. Try it again, son. Again. Your voice, sire. Perhaps it's not such...
What, so we're just gonna try yelling again? We try opening the damn thing up here? No, I think it's clear that someone lives here.
As before, an iron... This is directly above the...
Okay, I guess we go downstairs and try yelling into the furnace again. That's really the only shot we got at opening this safety curtain. Doesn't feel like it would be like surely it could just be moved, no? I guess it must be heavy, but...
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then...
Hello?
Hello? Are you there? Speak to me.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
Oh,
you hear a
perfect.
low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Well, that'll do the job. Alright. Look at that. Probably not a ghost. Oh god, it's the RPG maker. This tray is full of dice. Colorful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice.
Hello. I'm Nia.
Dicemaker. bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of dye are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Hold on, what do you mean, Millie?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
I'm afraid you have me confused. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing
No.
games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
I'm afraid I'm a police officer and I need to ask some questions.
Of course, I can see that. I just thought you were a police officer looking for dice.
Okay, fair enough,
How else
understandable.
can I help you then?
No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How'd you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
You like games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those
Fair
nice
enough.
people have
Yeah.
big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Where are we? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Yeah, fair enough.
Creative.
The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
Yeah, you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind. Rats scuttle in the dark rooms, under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
Yeah, what's with the strange machine?
Fortress Accident, the radio
Yeah,
game
those guys.
studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral.
Believable.
That's understandable. Fantasies are serious things. The mind is the drawing board of history.
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
Yeah, that sounds right. Well, we're wrong.
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
Yeah, that's believable.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
The project did look impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
believable
how
too.
the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on.
Yeah, that's one of those things where, like, kind of they are, but also these guys were super over-ambitious.
In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
It's a shame. The project looked interesting.
Not the wisest decision.
Yeah,
You would
that's
have
true.
lost all your savings.
I didn't mean by infesting. She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Aren't you clever?
Anything else?
Well, how about this taxidermied bear in the
Oh
cellar?
boy, the fabled Revishow ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed.
What
were the other ideas?
What were the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth.
I actually have no concept of whether that's good pay or not in this area. Didn't I only get paid like 100 a month or something? I feel like. So 20 an hour is not good, actually, no. Even if I think it's
And by
not that
man
good,
the
yeah.
booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
I see. She leans back, disapproving.
Fritter does the same thing.
Yeah, so 20 cents an hour is bad, even in this world. What do they expect? It's dog's pay. I'm surprised they showed up to work at all.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand.
I see.
And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. Didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted.
Oh.
Eventually, Revishow Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Class A 5000. Class A 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
Yeah. They could do a nice cartoon bear and that'd be one thing, but it appears they had an actual taxidermied bear fridge, which is just disturbing. I'm sure it was doing its best, though.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
I see.
Sounds cool.
What is a vision beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life.
So he taxidermied it?
By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
I don't do drugs.
Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all.
Yeah, well, that's never stopped the police
Anyway,
before, so...
now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the afternoon air. Her eyes follow it idly.
Little sparkling embers under the window. Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Well, a lot of others, I guess. Hair salon?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
That is correct,
A
yeah.
bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
Well, call me a simple man, but I don't have strong opinions on hairstyles.
Me neither. I just want it off my face.
She tucks a strand of hair under her headscarf. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
Oh, maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
A little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies?
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out the window. It's oddly quiet there at the moment.
I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
Yeah, probably. And who was Artemitep?
A kind man, from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
So how did that work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
That's not good.
It's not really full of that.
No.
No one would store their drugs like that.
No.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
I see. What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right?
That's such a weird business model.
Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias.
Ah,
Who would have guessed?
how nice.
What's the snuff milieu?
No, I
And they
think
never
I can
cleaned up the
guess.
debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool, very cool, but what is
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that
That's true, it was
broadcasts
implied
real
there was a
murders
radio
with
thing,
real
huh?
victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
That is, yeah, not cool.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Fair enough. Somebody makes stuffed animals?
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
I see.
Anything else?
I take it he's the one who made the bear. Creepy mannequins?
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
I didn't know insects had rights. Or activists.
Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings.
I
And
see.
you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
Well, they probably got what they deserved for making clothes out of beetle
At
wings.
least it had some spark to it. Most young designers just combine lace with leather and call it original.
She shifts in her simple workwear shirt.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Not pro-insect
Anything
then.
else?
I wonder if she had a connection to these, Now that you mention it, she has a bit of venom there. I wonder if she has a connection to them. What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off
That's a
on a
weird pivot.
vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Huh. What do those say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
You're not wrong.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
Right, I found the intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me.
She rubs her forehead. Her scarf has left a faint line on her dusky skin.
I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
Right. I saw the name East Delta Pinball on the doorbell.
Right, it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure. before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick track, especially pinball.
Oh,
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
okay, we don't like pinball. Somebody answered when I tried calling Slipstream.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
Actually, she said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
There's a moment before she recognizes the name.
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
It
That's
was
wacky.
too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
You're probably right.
The kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
Right. Is the Whirling in Rags part of the same
You
complex?
could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
I suppose. Is the doorbell with the empty name card is yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
Alright, I have a few other questions.
I'm listening. I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work, but sure. What do you... Sure,
Right,
I'm
okay.
listening.
I have other questions.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
I've heard this place is cursed. People call it the doomed commercial area.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Yeah, Plaisance sent me. She's convinced the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, it's not doing that well. There's hardly any customers, and she seems to be exploiting her own daughter to keep the company going.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
I mean, that's not great, but overall, I would say the whirling doesn't seem that cursed yet.
And then there is me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire
I've been
cutters.
here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe
Yes.
it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
I'm pretty sure it's just bad business decisions and natural market fluctuations, and also this location probably sucks.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
So, you know anything about the guy who was lynched behind the whirling?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
Daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the whirling's backyard.
She stops to try and come up with an example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
You often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
Never took your eyes off it to look out the window.
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
That
It's
might be
light
true,
here,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
dark in the yard at night.
that is true.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Alright, thanks for your
She
answers.
nods.
Anything else,
She's
officer?
right, actually. If it was light in here and dark outside, she wouldn't have seen anything out there, potentially. Can I take a guess at this?
You feel nothing. If anything,
What? No,
it's
don't do that.
uncomfortably warm in here. She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools.
I'm listening.
Okay, I don't have anything. I can't push 10 on the keyboard.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit.
Can I offer a die?
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
I'm looking for something to help with my work. No. You have any regular and ordinary die? You know what? I don't know what kind of die I want.
How about an amber dye?
Amber, a poor man's gold, you say?
Who told you amber was cheap? It's beautiful, really, and has been treasured since the ancient times. For 7 real, I'll craft you a 13-sided die from a piece of amber with a fossilized insect. It's perfect for those who can't seem to let go of their past.
That sounds like me.
I had a feeling.
It's a deal.
Great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
Honestly, 8 hours to make a whole die is pretty good.
Jamais vu. Derealization.
We've achieved derealization with whatever the hell
Jamais
this
vu.
is.
The opposite of deja vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
All intellect learning caps raised by 1 and 1 XP for every orb clicked. That's gonna rack up XP, actually. Surely. It's only 100 per level. That adds a lot of shivers, which is alright. This is probably not something we should keep, but it just seems fun from a role-playing perspective. Oops. Okay, I'm kind of okay with everything we've got. We should unlock more slots, because we need, like, a lot more stuff, potentially, but... Okay, we have more things to look at, too. Oh, we don't have a hat. This one reduces rhetoric, though. Let's see. This reduces our drama. That adds esprit de corps, but this has that and shivers. This one would just be logic. These reduce authority. Those... probably not. +1 to interact modes of taxation? Electrochemistry. Drama. What does that do? 1 reaction speed, -1 rhetoric. We're actually kind of good at rhetoric. I think we should keep it. A couple of postcards. Shot put ball. Filament. We don't have the password for it, though. Antique Bell Margrave rifle. Seems sellable, no? "16 days. Where did I get this? The cover features a row of concrete buildings with a monochrome rainbow in the sky. It tells a rather excruciating story about 2 lovers during a period of ethnic unrest in Yugograd. The book has been filed under psychological realism." This, a handwritten note you found from the giant bear fridge. It still bears some marks from the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used to secure it to the refrigerator door.
In your
That's the
hands,
track.
you hold 16 Days of Coldest April by Yekaterina Dahl. The cover image shows a row of concrete apartments above which span a black and white rainbow.
Feels heavy.
Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead.
How long is this book anyway?
You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long.
Pretty long.
Real art is dense and difficult. If it didn't feel like you had to wrestle a suicidal bear to get through it, you weren't really reading.
I do not agree, but okay, look
The
at the back cover.
is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author.
What does she look
She
like?
can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph. And yet, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you. In cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from one of the Yugoslavia riots in the 20s. Youths overturned motor carriages and set trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them in a flurry of baton blows. The Yugoslavia riots took place from 27 to 29. Fueled by ethnic unrest and the state's repressive tactics, these events are often seen as marking the end of a brief period of liberalization known as the Yugoslavia Spring. Like all such periods, it is frequently memorialized in art and literature. As ethnic tensions run wild, a pair of young lovers meet each other on the street. Somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, they manage to lock arms and look into each other's eyes.
And then what happens?
It would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you sure?
Yes. Oh my god, it actually physically hurt me.
They go through a brief
Actually,
and
morally
somewhat
hurt me, but-
awkward love affair. And in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity of Gradian life. The man becomes a lens grinder, completely abandoning his former existence. He toils through the daily drudgery at the Lenka polyfabricate. Happiness and fulfillment have eluded him his whole life. And in the end, he has nothing to do but dedicate himself to the craft.
And the woman?
She spends the next several decades standing at a conveyor in a Sosnovo fish processing plant. The smell of fish guts slowly seeps into her hair and skin, as every single one of her dreams dies, one by one. The memory of their short time spent together tortures the former lovers ceaselessly until the end of their days. Years pass in solitude, their bodies growing ever more decrepit.
That's, nihilistic.
As life leaves their remains between the soil sheets, their final thoughts are filled with regret.
How fun. Alright, how about the
The
fridge
note
note?
is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Someone
Yeah.
has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswaf.
Is Kuno the illiterate ginger kid? Wonder who wrote this.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Did leave in a hurry?
That's a plausible hypothesis.
Think Kuno's the illiterate
Really?
ginger kid?
You don't have a single guess?
Kuno.
Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Seems likely.
It
What does a
belongs
filament
inside a
memory do,
radio
anyway?
computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
It's like the production schedule you found. Only this one's an off-site copy.
This, I'm gonna ask this question, but I know exactly where it is.
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
Yes, I did. That's the one. Alright. I guess we're done talking to her. Let's go downstairs and find this off-site copy.
Thanks for watching, detectives. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And have a nice day, detectives. This is Sea Lord Jenda, signing off.